Stories like this pop up, late or not, for me at least, late, I kind of have to look into it a little bit. So the topic that I'm speaking on is the SIG P320, aka the M18 in the military world. Obviously, this has not been the first time that this has happened with the SIG P320. My wife, when she had went to the range with me, one of the pistols that her and my daughter did try out that they really liked was the P365. So to hear about the P320 is kind of like, do I really want my wife and or my daughter carrying this gun? So let's talk about it. I am obviously new to the gun industry, a new gun owner. So when stories like this pop up, late or not, for me at least, late, I kind of have to look into it a little bit. I figured, you know what, let me share my thoughts with you guys on this. This is my first podcast, so I mean, my podcast. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be much different than any other video, but I really kind of want to do it as a thought process of things that I am thinking about. So make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, click the like button, leave a comment. Let's have a discussion about it in the comment area and talk about it a little bit more. So the topic that I'm speaking on is the SIG P320, aka the M18 in the military world, or the M17 in the military world as well. Just from off of my research that I've learned. So you know, I'm kind of scrolling through YouTube and or just kind of getting notifications that hey, there was a accidental discharge, blah blah blah, back on July 20th with the M18 in the Air Force. Gentleman was killed by his own handgun without, and was said that it was discharged prior, not prior, it was discharged without him actually pulling the trigger, which I've always thought that was almost impossible for any gun to just go off on its own without something causing the trigger to malfunction. So then, therefore, I'm doing my research on it, trying to looking through different stories, trying to see exactly what details I can get from the story. And then I kind of run across a story from your military. Says airman killed by an M18 pistol. Guy was 21 years old from Kentucky. They kind of talked about how Braden, it's his name, from Greenville, Kentucky. He, what kind of person he was. His coaches talked about, his high school coaches talked about him, so on and so forth. But there's not really a lot of information about how his handgun discharged and ended up taking his life. So, we want to look at this a little bit deeper as a new gun owner. Like, man, how do I prevent something like this from happening to any handgun that I own? And so I'm doing a little digging, and then I run across, obviously this has not been the first time that this has happened with the SIG P320. So much so that that SIG put out a video discussing how it's almost impossible for the SIG P320 to go off on its own.
In this video, we'll explore the various safety features that make the P320 one of the safest and most dependable pistols in the world. These are the 5 individual actions which must happen before a P320 can discharge. The trigger must first be pressed to the rear, moving the trigger bar forward. The captive safety lever then rotates upward. The striker safety lock will then rotate upward. The sear rotates downward. And finally, the striker pin is released. All 5 of these independent actions must happen before the P320 will discharge.
Back in 2021, so I'm looking back like, oh, this has been an ongoing problem with the P320. This isn't a brand new problem with the P320. So let's switch this over to the breaking news area. This is breaking news, right? For those of us who are newer to handguns, or some of us who haven't really looked into the news of handguns, this would be something that we wouldn't necessarily hear about um, in our own personal circles. But the P320 has been under scrutiny by multiple people, uh, including other law enforcement areas, especially over the last few weeks. Um, you know, you have I think federal agents who were dropping it. You hear different videos on YouTube about the P320 now. Everybody's jumping on this. Oh, the P320 um, having issues in the past, um, having the issues having issues in the past, and they were able to recreate the trigger going off. Um, they were able to um, replicate it multiple times of the P320 having this thing, and you see a lot of people jumping on and so on and so forth. So I'm like, man, I know a few people that have SIGs, and I know somebody who actually has the SIG P320, and I reached out to them. I was like, yo, have you heard about the P320 and the fire that SIG is under right now? And he's like, no. So I shared that with him, and he's like, oh, this is kind of wild. I was like, yeah. But then about a week or so later, you start hearing other things that are happening. SIG kind of responds, and first SIG doesn't respond at all. Like they're really quiet about the entire situation. And I was hoping to really have this conversation with that SIG owner I know, but he was unavailable at this time to really discuss it. So maybe at a different time I can have this conversation with him. Then so SIG then comes out and they continue to defend. I see this article from NHPR released on the 30th of July. That responds that the P320 pistol is one of the safest and most advanced pistols in the world, meeting and exceeding all industry safety standards. That's what SIG is saying. They claim they ran multiple tests. They're claiming it's completely impossible for this to happen, and so on and so forth. So I'm not here to jump on this as a someone looking to grow my channel more off of this bad news. What I'm here is to try to bring an understanding and truth to my understanding of the P320 and SIG overall as a company, and trying to just share that with you guys. The stuff that I found so far, kind of digging into this. And then not that long ago, Air Force Times, back here just a couple of days ago, on August 8th, there's an article that comes out that says Air Force makes arrest in the airman shooting death involving the M18 pistol. I'm like, wait a minute. How do you make an arrest for something that was an accidental discharge of someone who, quote unquote, was taken out by their own weapon? And so I read a little bit more. It doesn't give much detail, but they says on July 20th, another airman, which involved the 6th officer, and led the service to suspend the use of the pistol following the incident, that was a big deal. In Friday's statement on the August 8th, the Department of Air Force spoke and said that the unidentified arrested person is accused of making a false official statement and obstruction of justice and involuntarily manslaughter. I'm like, yo, so if that's the case, did the P320 actually go off on its own? If I'm sitting here doing all my own personal research and I'm reading articles from, sources like the Air Force Times and other military outlets that say that someone else was involved in this, and it was a cover-up more so, and they found it just easier because of the issues in the past with the SIG P320? Was it just easier just to say, hey, this is what happened? So I know I'm late to this. I know it's been about 3 weeks now that this has been out, but heck, let's see. Be honest, I just started this journey for this YouTube channel this week ago. So I want to kind of be transparent and share this information with you guys. Have you guys look into this a little bit more? I did see this video from Sig Saucer. So I want to like I said, back in 2021, they made a whole video about this. So I shared that with you guys. And then, they're continuing to defend their pistol in the midst of everything that's going on. With their weapon. But you can go online, you can put in P320 on YouTube, and you can come up with numerous videos that talk about the issues with the P320. It is absolutely amazing. You can do the uncommand discharge ones. There's shorts about it. There are several videos about it from other creators. People saying that it's repeatable. And I'm not sure how repeatable it is or how much I personally can trust everybody's thought process. Someone said they fixed the issue of keeping it from happening again. I'm not here for the test of some of these. Some of these just are like the one guy drops it on the ground. It's just, I don't know. You kind of have to make your own choice when it comes to handguns. And when something like this gets out there, is that a particular handgun or company that you want to do business with? Stig's made a lot of great ones. One of my wife's my wife, when she went to the range with me, one of the pistols that her and my daughter did try out that they really liked was the P365. So to hear about the P320 is kind of like, do I really want my wife and or my daughter carrying this gun? So we'll have to get out there and do more research on it. We'll have to kind of look into it just a little bit more, and really understand like what's going on with Sig. Sig overall is a very reputable company. Like I said, I know a few people that own Sigs, including this P320. The guy that I know that owns the P320 says he's never had a problem with his P320. And I mean, so we as a community have to kind of do a better job of not creating media hype or fear around the company. More so, don't jump on taking a look at, oh, here's our time to bash a company and create clicks and views. Let's really dig in. I think it was Colin Noir who did a really great conversation about this. And I encourage you to go check out his video, because he's obviously been doing this a lot longer than I have and can articulate a little bit better about the responsibility as us as a community taking a look into something like this. That's really going to be it. I'm going to call this a mini podcast episode, just because I had planned on really doing this with somebody and kind of have more of a conversation. But I'm going to have the conversation with you guys. So thank you for watching. Make sure that you click the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's have a further discussion about this and in the comments, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Until next time, GDD signing out. Stay safe, stay ready, stay prepared.